Hi everybody, welcome to another video of paint with me time-lapse sort of video. So in this video I will be going through my thought process for this painting and some just general techniques I use and some lessons that I learned from this painting. So yeah, let's get right into it. So with this painting, I use a reference photo taken from Croquis Cafe, which is a website with free resources for life drawing. They have a lot of very diverse group of models and in very diverse poses. I found it to be super useful for when I was trying to really improve on my figure drawing skills, and also just in general when I need a reference for my paintings. With this painting, I first color out the base color of his skin tone, and I start marking shadows and highlights. And then after that, I go in further to really darken those shadows, and then put in more highlights where it needed. Putting down his I actually really love painting people, and the thing is it's so fun painting this figure just because I realize I don't paint as much men as I do women figures, and just the muscle groups and the tonus of the body, it was just actually really fun to see how it forms together. And something I think I should have done but I didn't with this painting is that I was kind of just following the lightning of the figure from the reference photo, from what I see from the reference photo. And something I should have done is that I should have planned the painting out first, or at least plan how the lighting would look like, so that way the figure would look more cohesive with the scenery that I place the figure into. Otherwise it's just sort of when the lighting is sort of not as planned out, it makes the figure that I put into the scenery, it doesn't look as cohesive, because it's for example, if there's a moon let's say on the left side of his figure, right in front of his face, then the lightning would be a whole different thing. The certain shadows would be moved onto sort of the other side of his body, for example, right? So it's just I think it's always good to plan out sort of where your light source is coming from first and adapt accordingly to the scenery. That is something I should have done but I didn't. The thing is I just personally I don't like planning paintings first. It's good to do thumbnail sketches, and I admire artists who do. I personally don't, just because it's I ever come to realize that as a painter I think my process is different. And I mean, obviously I should probably learn to plan out the lighting at least, but I just personally like not planning too much out, because I like sort of discovering motifs as I go, and discovering changing my mind as I go, which is both a good and bad thing. Some artists probably don't like it. They'd probably think that I'm wasting time in paint, but I just find it so much fun to discover, see the painting reveal itself to me as I go. I just find that actually really rewarding and just really fun, and I feel like it's a big part of me getting to be creative.
I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why I'm down, yeah? No friends of mine around, yeah. Now I'm thinking
This is actually something like me not planning things out is very apparent in this painting, because what you see now is that like he's standing in this like sort of weird body of water, and there's like pink flowers and leaves sprouting out of it, but you'll see that I painted over this, and there's like clouds in his head now, a moon, and like he's actually sitting kneeling on this cloud, and there's like this nighttime backdrop behind him. And that's because I was in the process of figuring out where this figure is at. At first I thought I wanted to do like vibrant background, but I realized it didn't really work well with his skin tone, so I want something that was like of a cooler palette, and it was like this nighttime scene where, you know, there's like this cloud in his head, and there's a moon sitting in it, and there's like clouds slithering about him. And then I added like the purple flowers because I wanted to keep the color scheme very cool, and I just thought it was like, it actually really I really like the effect that the purple leaves kind of bring into the piece, just because it's not too distracting, and it just like, I feel like it kind of balances the composition out a bit. Also, as you can see, I added neon pink onto the night backdrop. This is like something I've learned from my art teacher, is that when you paint the color black, it's good to like mix it with something else. For example, like because it would give more dimension, more personality to the black paint. Like say if you add blue, it makes the black feels more serene, but if you add red, then it becomes a more energetic sort of black. And so I wanted to give it sort of like a somewhat dynamic feel to it as well, so I added some neon pink in certain places. And then I kind of went into doing the drips effect, and I just thought that like really, I love doing the drips effect just because it gives such an ethereal, dreamy feeling to the overall painting. As I was painting, I was also like figuring, I was a bit frustrated just because I wasn't sure why something feels off, and for me I realized that that was because it's like when I was looking at it, my eyes kind of struggled to find a place to properly latch on, and that was because like everything is sort of pushed onto the forefront. And that's because, as you can see, like the way that I painted it out, the clouds around him, the larger clouds around him is put in like almost at the same as like distance from the viewer as the figure was, and so these elements were kind of like competing for the viewer attention when you look at it. And so what I kind of did, which you will see later in the video, is that I went in and paint over the cloud with very watered down dark blue, so that it kind of gave more shadows to the cloud. That way the clouds look further away, and it kind of helps gives dimension towards the overall painting, and it pushes like the main figure forward, and that way there's just like less thing competing for your attention. like this piece. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and please comment down below if you have any questions or you would like me to do any sort of videos on like my painting, maybe like tips and tricks or anything you might want to suggest, really. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.